watching Soundwaves TV. I am delighted, so excited to have Greg Hoy in the studio for the very first time.
I'm delighted too. What a wonderful space you have here.
This is so exciting that we're going to crack some whiskey together.
Well, I did bring several small airplane bottles of whiskey.
When he says several, he means about 8.
They had a special.
Yeah. Hey, nobody, I don't think, Dennis, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think anyone has brought us whiskey, certainly not 8 tiny airplane bottles, but also I've never done any kind of shot or alcohol drink besides beer here at the table. Will you guide me? I'm totally down.
I am happy to show you how it's done. First, we twist off the top. This is like any other bottle. Doesn't matter the size of the bottle.
Okay.
They all start like this. And what we're going to go with first is this is a Jim Beam Black, which I used to drink in college.
Yes.
And what we have here is Gentleman Jack. So it's Jim and Jack. And these two whiskeys have long been competitors.
Oh, okay.
In the lower space of the United States of America. So why don't we just each take a sip of that? And
Absolutely.
We can,
Wait, I know we're not doing a shot, but I've been taught that you gotta
look each other in the eye.
Oh, I get it.
Okay. Okay.
Wow, that's actually really good.
Good? Yeah, mine's a little not too sweet, a little burny, but not like super burny. Now let's swap.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
What would you say yours tasted like?
Surprisingly not burny.
Okay, smooth. Would you say it was smooth?
Yeah, which I was really waiting on.
The Gentleman Jack is the higher end of the Jack Daniel's line.
That's how I roll. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh.
Yeah, this is better. Yours is better.
Hoy, yeah.
Gentleman Jack wins round 1, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Dennis, you got it. Can you come over here for a quick second?
Dennis, okay, what do you have?
We need him. You're going to have to drink straight out of the bottle, sir.
Yeah, I'm not fancy that way, so I'm going to go with the Bullet Bourbon.
Bullet Bourbon.
Yeah.
Woo! I feel warm and fuzzy.
A more modern entry in the American whiskey canon.
Okay.
But yet, I think it's might be the #1 selling whiskey in America.
Oh.
I'll take it. All right, here we go.
I also like the...
Oh, wait,
I feel like we all need to...
Boom, boom.
Eyes.
Oh, eyes.
You've had both
Ooh, that's
before.
very nice.
It's good though. Both
is nice.
good one.
That is
nice.
so much better.
Now I think technically that's a bourbon. I'm not sure if these are bourbons. Thank you, Dennis. This is a bourbon. This is called a bourbon. So they're all 3 called bourbons.
Wow. I'm learning so much.
Comes down to where they're made.
This is fantastic. I'm so excited to have you here.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. You told me, Dennis was like, come on the show. And I was just like, are you serious? Me? Like, I've watched your show. I've been, a fan of the radio station, all the things. So
oh my God.
It's nice. And I didn't know you were here because we're right next door to each other.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so fun fact. You guys know that we are here at Green Room Music Center where we always are. But you actually rent here, your room, your music rehearsal space, of which you recorded your most recent album, Hit Music. By the way, hold this.
Hit Music is the new album.
Hit Music.
These are the new T-shirts.
Boom. I should have changed. He just gave it to me. Should I just lay it on top of me? But yeah, great. There's a great story behind this that we'll get to in a minute.
If you're local to Pacifica, you will know the story.
It's going to be a legendary story here.
Right.
But my question is, all in that room?
Yeah, all in that room. I had some spinal arthritis I was dealing with last summer. I was on tour. And I was in New York City, and I was on stage, and my left arm went numb, which I don't know if anyone is aware of. When your left arm goes numb, you should panic.
Yeah, I'm panicking for you. Jesus.
And so, we made it through the set, and then I was like, I don't think it's a heart attack. And I got back to California, and I have 2 fused vertebrae and spinal arthritis, which means the nerve that runs this way is when I strap on a guitar, it's causing numbness here. So. I saw Jay and I said, "Can I get a room? Can I get a room?"
Yeah, and, that's my husband, by the way. He asked my husband if he could get a room.
One of the fine people that works at this establishment owns this establishment, and I started playing drums. Yeah. That was what I did because the back doctor said you have to do something that's not weight on your shoulder, but keep things moving. And I ended up making a whole record right over here. Based on starting with drum parts for songs, which was something I've really never done before.
Wow, he must have been so proud.
I don't know if proud is the word. I knowing Jay is such a fantastic drummer, and then hearing, during the summer, I would hear all the kids playing drums. So I kind of felt like I was a part of the summer.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, look at me. I'm learning how to play drums again. Even though
You're part of the rock camp?
Yeah, I felt the energy of, the energy of hearing Zombie 400 times or, Nirvana or Smashing Pumpkins. And it actually really, I think it made for I wrote better songs. Hearing those songs while I was trying to write, it sort of inspired me to be like, cool, I want to go back to my 90s roots and write good rock songs. So
that is super rad.
Yeah.
What I love about you is there's no way to put you in a box.
Okay, I'll take that.
Like, there's definitely, I mean, I think I was texting Dennis whenever he first sent you to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, gosh, I hear like Elvis Costello and
Yep.
David Bowie
Take
and like,
it.
yeah, and there's all these things,
Take 'em
but
both.
it's like every song is a different flavor.
Thanks.
I love that about you.
Thank you. This time I said there were no rules. Like I was just
Yeah.
like, sometimes when you go and you're like, I'm going to make a record, and then you're like, I'm going to make it like this, or I'm going to make it like, it sounds like this. And this time I just started writing, and that's how I ended up with horn parts.
Which I love. I love what you say in one of your videos. Like, if it sounds like crap, just add some horns
Yeah,
to it.
just look, I was like, if you're having a bad day, add horns.
Yeah,
and
it's
now
so true.
live we play with the horns. It's like it's taken me in a whole different direction, and it's like we just came back from doing 5 shows on the East Coast, and
Yeah.
it was like the energy of horns on a rock band.
Oh, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, like you don't really think about it because
Yeah.
we're so used to seeing like guitar-based drums, or
Right.
at least I am.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
I
was.
own a home in New Orleans, and I'm there like
Right
part
on.
of the year. So horns is like that makes me weep immediately. That, like,
Second
gets me
line?
back.
Is that what they call it? The second line?
Second line parade. Jay and I are about to have one of those for our 15th wedding anniversary in a
Lovely.
few weeks. So
How
we are
fun.
like. We're very, that's what I thought whenever I started hearing you and watching all the videos and everything. I was like, man, this guy belongs in New Orleans.
Yeah,
Like, that's
thanks.
a city for you.
I will take that as a huge
Have you toured
compliment.
in that area?
We've never gone that far south.
Okay, well, we have a
Farthest
home,
south.
so you can
Well, okay.
do a
I'm
little
gonna
run.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Let us know.
We have a little house in Nashville, so I play there a lot.
Great.
And Nashville has a similar vibe. When you show up with the horns, they're like,
Oh.
yeah, they
Yeah,
kind of like,
uh-huh. Yep,
because
it's
they're
like-
used to singer-songwriter, country.
Yeah.
So horns, we just did a show there 2 weekends ago, and we had a sax guy, and everyone was just like they don't, they're not used to that.
It up levels you too. It
Yeah.
just makes you stand out.
Yeah.
And I think online it stops the scroll.
Oh, that's an interesting way to look at
'Cause
it.
it
Like people
stands
actually
out. Mm-hmm.
pay attention to it because it's got the horns.
It's just different.
Well, as we were talking about before the mics were on,
Yes.
I also gave in to the fact that I grew up loving Huey Lewis and the News.
Yes.
And Phil Collins. There, I said it. I'm sorry.
No need to be
It's
sorry
taken me
here.
years to really just embrace the Philness
Yeah.
of growing up, and like being in like grade school and like having all this great 80s, 90s music. It kind of fell into the 90s too. But when I think about horn stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like I think about all those great 80s bands that were like, they had a sax player, In Excess.
Yes, of course.
Like, God, In Excess was such a great band. You listen to that stuff now, and it's still, to me, and maybe this is just my age, it still just really like stands out. Like you put on an In Excess song at a party, people are going to listen to it.
Absolutely. Yes. It's funny because on a lot of the comments, people have compared you to a lot of things on YouTube and whatnot, but they really compliment your voice. Like your voice is very soothing. Where did you start? Like you play so many instruments and you're a singer. Like what was the beginning?
Wow. Well, thank you for that. It's
Yeah.
soothing. I'm going to have to tell my 4-year-old daughter that. I yelled at her yesterday.
She probably doesn't.
She
Yeah.
said, Daddy used the mean voice.
Oh.
Love you, Parker. I think, I grew up around music. Like my parents were a little older than most people in my generation. And my mom belonged
Growing
to
up where? Not Tanner.
Pennsylvania.
Okay, you
Pittsburgh,
were in
Pennsylvania. So
Pennsylvania. Okay,
I'm
got
an
it.
East Coast person.
Okay.
And my mom belonged to something called Columbia House Record and Tape Club.
Of course.
I don't
Are
know if
you
everyone
kidding
remembers
me?
that.
Oh my God.
People of a certain age.
I'll drink to that.
And going into college, it became CDs.
Oh, yeah.
But when I was growing up, it was records. It was like literally physical records. And, my mom would forget to send you have to send this, kids. Every month, they would send you a card that said, you're getting this record unless you tell us you don't want it.
That's right.
And the records were like exorbitantly expensive because they would charge you this like amazing price for shipping.
Yeah, exactly.
And my mom, because she was a busy mom, she would forget to send things back. So suddenly here's Kool and the Gang, and then Led Zeppelin, and then Huey Lewis and the News, and then Lou Rawls. Like we would get all this crazy stuff, and my mom would just put it on and play it. And that was
I have
like
chills. What a favor she did to you.
right. And it was also like when it comes to the voice, like I remember listening to like a lot of soul singers like Lou Rawls and Johnny Mathis, another great San Franciscan.
Yes.
So you listen to all these things, and especially on those records, outside of like rock and roll records, which is what I loved.
Yeah.
The voice is so prominent, and it's so in the front of the mix. It's like if you think about the 50s and 60s, like it was all vocal, like everything was around the vocal. So I think that was what I heard, and then I started to sing along, and I joined choir when I was little, and. So that's kind of where it came from. And I also remember getting advice early on, and it was, your voice is the only thing that's yours. Like, anyone can play an E chord, anyone can hit a snare drum.
Gosh, I never thought about it that way.
So I think, I had an early teacher that was like...
That's like your signature.
Yeah, like, make your voice, like, the thing.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
And it's been something, I mean, God, I've worked on it all these years. So every time I put out a record, I'm like, okay, yeah, I think this one's good. This one's good.
You've done like 60?
16. Well, I've done 16 under my own name. I've done about 35 in different bands and different names and different things. So it's, yeah.
So you're like headed, I knew it was like somewhere between 15 and 30, but like that's an enormous amount of creativity.
Yeah.
And that's what really stuck out to me with your music, both audibly, but also visually. Your videos crack me up. We'll get into that. But I just...
The videos are fun.
A lot of people... So I listen to a lot of podcasts and audible books about creativity and the artist way and things like that. Mm-hmm. And the conversation that always comes back to creativity is people are afraid to use it. It's like, oh, I might use it up.
Yes.
You know, if I use too many ideas, that it's gonna just go. It's a flash in the pan. Do you? Because it seems like you don't have that issue at all.
Right.
Like you are just an abundance of creativity.
Sure.
How do you feel about that?
I think there's like, we can get into like the esoteric like scarcity and abundance.
By all means,
like a lot of people, there's like there's people that believe in the scarcity model
mindset
of everything, and then there's people that sort of think about the abundant model of everything, which is like there's enough for everybody.
Yes.
I think when it comes to self, like there's always more work to do. There's always more digging to like there's always things to uncover about who you are, and I think. This is going to sound so cliche, but the new Rick Rubin book is really good.
Oh, really?
It's called, I think it's called, what is it? The
Rock
Artist's
and Roll
Way?
Buddha?
Pretty much.
He is, yeah.
And, you know, people slag him and everything, but it's like...
I've slagged him in a few ways before.
I think that's okay.
Deny, but...
And I also think the book is kind of like, you know, it takes a lot of different things and kind of throws it down in an easy to read thing. But the big thing is like, everybody's creative. Like, you can be creative when you wake up in the morning, how you put on your makeup, how you brush your teeth. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, my daughter she oozes creativity. She doesn't even know it. Like, she doesn't know it as creativity.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, she's just like, she'll find something on the floor and like make it a nose.
That's how my son is. He's 8. Same.
And where I'm going with that is like, I think we're all born with it. And I think what happens is society kind of beats it out of us.
Totally.
Because there's this thing, especially my generation, our generation, maybe like, I grew up thinking you had to have a job and you could do the creative thing. Mm-hmm. Like that was always this like purification of things.
Sure.
So, you know, I spent my whole life like making money so I could make art. Yeah. That was my whole thing. Because I didn't ever want to be like the starving artist. Like the whole starving artist thing. I'm like, you got to have a roof over your head or else you can't write a song. That's the way I always looked at it.
Well, it's worked for you.
Thanks.
Quite well.
It's going well.
It's given you space, it seems, to create all of this.
Well, and I mean, it's like you're doing it here. Like you create your own world. And then when you create your own world, you iterate on it and you keep moving forward, you make changes, you make things, but like at the end of the day, it's like it kind of comes from one place.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, I get that. So. I love that you're so weird.
I'm even weirder than.
No, but like seriously,
we're only half of a shot in, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls.
I mean that with all the love and respect in my heart. Like every video I watch, like there's something new, there's some new layer to you that you just own. Like it's
thank you. That's very
fearless.
Sweet. Very sweet.
Have you always been like that? Or did you grow into it? Because as we grow, we give less shits, which is nice.
Yeah. You know, my wife and I will fight because she'll say something like, why don't you care about what that person thinks?
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't. I'm like, well, everyone has an opinion. We all have opinions. And you know what? Everyone's opinion's valid.
Yeah.
Some opinions are...
We could do without, but...
Yeah, they're less.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's no way, like, I think, to me, I think early on I realized it was a waste of energy to try to convince people why I was worth insert whatever adjective. Mm-hmm. And I think that comes from, like, having a family that fostered music and, like, being in theater and, like, just being, like, hanging around with the gay kids, which was a big deal in the 80s and 90s. If you had friends that were in choir and music, like talk about weird. Like, I don't think kids growing up today understand the amount of work that was done.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I talk about like Pet Shop Boys and Wham and
oh my God,
and like all these like kind of queer artists that came out.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we were like, what do you mean George Michael's gay?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like that was a big deal.
It used to be.
And then we'd be like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like that's cool. But I want your sex. He was with that girl. And then like, you know, these were things we had to uncover, you know, slowly and kind of, and now it seems like it's almost the opposite. It's like people are trying to rush to figure out, you know, some sort of tag for themselves. But anyway, I digress. It's like, I think that all of that kind of rolled into, you know, just not care. Why don't care? Like,
I love it.
Do your thing.
I think it's such a valuable idea
very sweet.
to own who you are.
Thanks. I do too.
Whatever that means.
Yeah.
Especially these days.
100%.
Just lean into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just adore what you do.
Thank you.
I really do. You got your brand new album, Hit Music.
Hit
so I told
Music.
you we'd get to the story. I just love it.
Yes.
If you're a Pacifican, you're gonna love it. If you're
Yes.
not, you'll understand. You'll get it. So Hit Music, new album just out. Fantastic.
Thank you.
But this title came from a local place in Pacifica. Tell us this story because it's just so fun. I wish the vinyl was here so we could
I
show.
know,
But
I do too.
Dennis will work his inserting magic.
There's something about tariffs is holding my
I
vinyl.
know. I don't know.
In the Czech Republic right now.
In the Czech Republic. What would that be?
Well, you know, it's funny. It's Pirates Press is making it, and they're like a local record manufacturer. They're in Emeryville. They used to be in the Mission District, I think. Anyway, and so now they make them in the Czech Republic, but they're anyway. Long story short, don't have them yet. So I would drive to the studio every day. I live up in a different part of Pacifica, Sharp Park, and I would come down here to Green Room, and I'd get stopped at the light,
the long ass light.
At the long ass light.
Yeah. Yep.
And inexplicably, there's a fantastic old school steak seafood joint, Valimar Station, mom and pop. I love calling it mom and pop, but you walk in and you feel like you just walked into the 60s. You expect cigarette smoking.
Totally.
And,
Yes.
And some drunk person with their head down on the bar.
Yeah.
And outside where the garbage cans are,
Yeah.
in block print, it says Hit Music, HITMUSIC.
For no reason whatsoever,
Well,
right?
do you know the reason?
No.
Okay, well, I have since found out the reason since this record has come out. Apparently, there used to be in that little white space, not unlike where we are right now, a radio station.
There was Dennis. Did you know this? Yes. Dennis did notice.
Okay.
At least he can say that. No, he's original. He's a Pacifican, so he knows.
And the sign looks cool. And every time I saw it, I was like,
so fun.
It would go through my mind. And then by the time I was like, I had about 5 or 6 songs I was feeling pretty good about. I said to myself, okay, I've made a lot of records. What if this is my greatest hits record?
Yes.
But it's all new songs.
I love
I'm going to
that.
call it Hit Music, which
Yes.
to me, again, is kind of weird because it's a bit of a, I guess it's like a humble brag.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it's this juxtaposition of the words hit music with garbage cans in front of them.
Absolutely. That's what I think is so funny
Right.
about it.
And
Like
also-
the image of it is just hilarious.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's so once that happened, like actually that helped me finish the record because then I had like an umbrella to put like the rest of the songs under. It was just like make it a greatest hits. Don't worry if they all sound the same or different or whatever. So.
Yeah. You know what I think we're doing in that moment? We're by saying hit music out loud a whole bunch, we're manifesting.
I like that.
That's what we're doing.
Hit music.
I am a big fan
Hit
of,
music. Let's
of
manifest.
manifesting.
Let us
I
manifest.
love that story because it's like forever more going to put Pacifica on the map. Whenever your hit music becomes hit music, then we'll be like, see, we know.
I hope so.
No,
I mean,
it's
you know,
so
we were
neat.
out east and we've already gotten a bunch of great press on it. And a lot of it's New York people because I lived there for 12 years.
Yeah.
So they pay attention. And a lot of people are like, Pacifica? Where's Pacifica?
How did you end up here, by the way?
I would come out here when Winter's Tavern opened.
Oh, yeah.
I was living in the Mission District when I first got here. And I was like, why isn't anyone talk
Talking
about this
about-
place?
Our little hidden
And then I
jewel.
started hanging out with people from Pacifica. I'm like, no one wants anyone to know about this place.
Yep,
like,
you figured that out
Like what a
quick.
gem it is. And so we, life stuff happened and we needed to be close to the city for my wife's work. And I said, I would like to live in Pacifica. And luckily we found a little rental up, 2 blocks from the beach up in Sharp Park. And it's just been, here I am.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a great community and
I have
it's
to
inspired
assume.
so much.
I have to assume. I mean, I can say this because I'm a Pacifican. That it's beauty, maybe, and the vibe and the energy of this place, and the artsiness of it, and kind of the salty underdog version of it, which is at Winners, and I mean that with a compliment. I love Winners.
Sure.
Helps you with inspiration. Like there's a lot of
100%.
art, a lot of
Ocean.
creativity. The ocean, the water, it helps.
I never have lived near the ocean and.
Me neither.
Yeah, the ocean's always been like a vacation for me. But when you have it every day, I think it does change everybody. Like I get a different feeling from the people that live here and other beach towns. But like it's kind of a nudge, like a nod wink to people like,
Yeah.
Like,
I always say I live.
How's Georgia?
I'm from Oklahoma.
There you go.
Yeah.
How's Oklahoma?
I always
How's
say
Pittsburgh?
when you live by the sea, you live by the sea. And what I mean by that is that you live by its rules, by its energy, by its ebbs and its flows. And it really does rule where your headspace is. I wake up at 4:00 in the morning because the morning show, and when I walk to my car, I can hear it crashing, and there's just something like very calming. It puts me in the right headspace. So I feel so grateful that we have that to pull from.
I agree. I had a therapist years ago, and he said, "You're either a mountain person or an ocean person."
Yeah.
And I thought that was quite an interesting. He said some people have to change because like life takes them a different way, and suddenly they need to be by stability.
Yeah,
but the ocean is like full of it's always full of openness and
ebbs and flows. Like in this universe that we're in, the musical side, you're on your musician side, and I'm on my side. But I think you have to roll with the punches.
Yeah.
And give very few F's, and God bless you for doing.
Give very few
that.
F's. I think that's what we learned today.
Yes.
And literally, the Jim being black is not the best.
Not the vibe. I would highly recommend though, Gentleman Jack.
The Gentleman Jack
and
is
I'm
much
saying
smoother,
that as
ladies and gentlemen. We are not sponsored by any liquor company.
But if you'd like, reach out, let us know. I just want to say I'm so proud to share my first shot or whiskey at the Soundwaves table with you, Greg. You are magical.
I am equally proud. Thank you for
this is
thank you
so
for that.
cool. Please come back.
Anytime.
When all your hit music is massively hit music.
Anytime.
And on that note, follow him online. Make sure you check him out. Get some merch when the vinyl gets here.
Vinyl's coming.
We're gonna buy the vinyl, so that's next. But this is how you support incredible musicians like you, going out to tours and shows and all this stuff. You just got back, so you play all the time. You've got a roster of shows coming up. So Greg Hoy, check him out. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
One more.
Okay.
Just a little. He's